Stay tuned for a unique repair on CAT engine blocks. Learn why this is needed, how we set up our CNC machine to cut the counterbores, and watch us install brass inserts before we resurface the deck so it seals like it should. Welcome to Baril Engine. What do we have here? This is a Caterpillar C32. It is a 32-liter V12 CAT. It's the big brother of the C27 we did a while back. On that C27, we just needed to resurface and clean up the deck. This one's a little more complicated. On this block, we're repairing a problem we see all the time: corrosion damage on the surface of the block around the coolant passages. It can be a bigger issue than it looks like. Let me explain. This engine block passage is how coolant moves between the block and the cylinder head. And as you can see, there's damage around it. That damage can cause coolant loss and other issues. Let me show you how this happens and how we're going to fix it. This is the spacer plate off of a C15 that we had sitting here. This issue is common on a lot of CAT engines that have spacer plates. We see it on the 3406, the C15, the C16 and 18, the 3408 and the 3412, a C27, and then obviously on this project, a C32. These are what CAT calls cylinder head water seals. Most of us call them water grommets. This red one is the newer style that you'll see on V blocks, and this black one is the one that we see more often. It's a nitrile and it's got a stainless steel insert. Which one of these seals is better? I'd stick to what CAT recommends for your application. I say that because we don't believe that these seals are the root of the problem that we're dealing with here. Here's why. Here's how this system works and where we get the problem. The seal is slightly thicker than the spacer plate. Obviously, when it's pressed down through the compression of the cylinder head being torqued on, it creates a sealed passage for the coolant to pass between the block and the head. And as I'm sure you already know, coolant that isn't properly maintained can create all sorts of problems. Coolant can get acidic, start corrosion, and can have contaminants and scale buildup. This seal is a used one. You can see it's flattened out some. There's been some crush applied to it. But when I look at the surface of it, I can see material embedded in it. It's actually got a lot of dirt and grime built into it. What has happened is the coolant has had those contaminants in it, and they have slowly worked their way into the seal. That seal then rubs on the block through the natural vibration of the engine, and it basically wears away the area underneath it. Add to that some acidic coolant eating away at the cast iron, and we've got a combination that results in our problem. This problem is not cosmetic. Once the surface under the seal is damaged, it doesn't have a solid land to crush on. And coolant will find that weak spot and we'll have a coolant leak. So how much damage is too much damage in these areas? That's always a judgment call. I've seen mechanics that have decided to let a fair bit of wear go. This particular customer wants this machine to be reliable for a long time. He's counting on it in his business. So he's decided to address this issue now rather than dealing with coolant issues in the future. These types of repairs do sometimes come down to the customer's tolerance for risk. We feel it's appropriate to leave that judgment call to our customer after we've fully made them aware of the situation. You may have seen our C27 video where we resurfaced that block. That block had similar corrosion, but it wasn't as deep. In a situation like that, removing 4 thousandths of material off the deck can resolve the problem. But if the pitting or the corrosion is any deeper than that, then we're going to need to do our water seal repair, which is what we're going to cover in today's video. We've already loaded and secured our block in our Rottler CNC block machine. One thing we do on blocks like this is we use a junk cam bearing in the cam bore so we can clamp it there without risking damage to the block. We program our Rottler CNC block machine to know the general location of each water jacket. Then we use a probe to locate and indicate the exact location and the center of each hole in the block. Next, we load a specialized milling tool and using the locations we verified with the probe, we use it to machine a counterbore around the existing water jacket hole. That removes the corrosion and creates a place for us to install a press fit insert. Here's the brass insert we use. We install it with a 2000 press fit and it has chamfer on one side so we can press it in straight and clean. We use brass because in this environment, it typically corrodes at a much lower rate than the original cast iron. We can also use the stainless steel insert. The point is to leave a sealing surface that's less likely to get eaten up again, so we're limiting repeat repairs down the road. Now we install the inserts with a 2000 press fit, and we apply some red Loctite to help lock the insert in place. We purposely kept the counterbore a little shallow, so the inserts are sticking up a little proud of the deck. That allows us to remove as little material as possible when we resurface it, while still getting the inserts and the deck perfectly flush. We resurface the block deck for two reasons. First, obviously, it puts every insert exactly level with the deck so the seals crush evenly. Second, we're targeting the right surface finish for the gasket. For an OEM CAT MLS head gasket, we machine the surface finish to 30 RA or less, because on MLS, surface finish is essential for proper sealing. I do want to mention we now have a system where we can do this water seal insert repair in chassis. So if you're doing an in-frame rebuild, we can come to your shop and do this in chassis, in frame. All we need is for the head to be off. And we can do your counterbores at the same time. We've got customers shipping us this type of work from all over the United States. For customers that are closer to us, we offer next day pickup. Now on the in-chassis side, we have to keep the travel area a little tighter. We limit our in-chassis repairs to customers that are within a 3-hour drive of our Green Bay, Wisconsin shop. We've wrapped up our C32 project, and this is ready to go back to our customer. Baril engine, engines done right.